You know what nobody tells you when you're sitting across from a Case IH dealer looking at a Quadtrac 620? They don't tell you what it costs per hour to run when the novelty wears off and the payment is still sitting there every single month. That number, not the horsepower, not the track system, not the cab. That number is what we're talking about today. $700,000 is not an equipment decision. It's a business decision. And most operators who write that check are making it based on horsepower ratings and a demo ride and a salesman who knows exactly how to make the machine look like the answer to every problem on their operation. I've watched that play out more times than I care to count across the large acre operations I've worked with, and the ending isn't always what the opening scene promised. The Quadtrac 620 is a genuinely capable machine, and I'm not going to tell you otherwise because it would be dishonest. But capable and profitable are not the same conversation. And in 2026, on margins that don't forgive $700,000 mistakes, the profitable conversation is the only one worth having. So that's exactly what we're doing today on Farm Gear Pro. Not a walk-around review, not a spec sheet breakdown. A straight, honest look at what this machine actually costs to own and operate, what it genuinely returns on a working large acre operation in 2026, and who should actually be writing that check, and who should be walking away from it. Because those are two very different groups of operators, and most dealer conversations blur that line on purpose. Cash rents across the primary Quadtrac geographies, the High Plains, the Northern Plains, serious large acre Corn Belt ground, are running $150 to $300 per acre in 2026. Input costs haven't backed off. Commodity prices aren't giving you cushion for expensive mistakes. In that environment, a $700,000 equipment decision that doesn't pencil out is not just a bad purchase. It's a balance sheet event that follows your operation for the next decade. The Case IH Quadtrac 620 is sitting at approximately $700,000 to $750,000 new in 2026, depending on configuration and options. Rated at 620 engine horsepower with a CVT transmission and 4 independent rubber tracks. Built for one specific purpose: moving massive amounts of material across serious acres in conditions where standard wheeled tractors either can't deliver the traction, compact your soil into a yield-limiting problem, or simply don't have the sustained power to handle the workload at the pace your operation demands. That's a narrow and specific use case. Whether your operation genuinely fits it, honestly, not aspirationally, is the most important question you need to answer before you ever set foot on a dealer lot. Let's talk about what the Quadtrac 620 actually does that justifies that price tag. Because there are operations where this machine isn't just impressive, it's genuinely the right tool and the ROI math works. The 4-track system distributes the machine's substantial operating weight across a dramatically larger ground contact area than any comparable wheeled tractor. That weight distribution delivers two direct operational benefits that translate to real dollars on the right operation. Traction is the first one. In wet or challenging field conditions, where a wheeled machine is spinning and burning fuel without converting it to useful work, the Quadtrac maintains consistent ground drive and keeps moving. On a large operation where every workable field day during a compressed seasonal window is a non-recoverable resource, the ability to work days your competitors can't is a real financial advantage. A day of tillage capacity in October that your wheeled tractor neighbors don't have shows up in your fall completion percentage, your spring planting timeliness, and ultimately your yield outcomes the following season. Soil compaction reduction is the second benefit, and it carries the longer financial tail on high-acre operations. The ground pressure the Quadtrac exerts per square inch of track contact is dramatically lower than a comparable wheeled machine at this power level. On operations where soil compaction has been documented as a yield-limiting factor, and on many high-acre dryland and row crop operations across the plains, it has been confirmed through yield data analysis that reduced compaction preserves yield potential across every acre you cover every season you run it. It doesn't show up dramatically in a single-season comparison. It compounds quietly across years of operation in ways that become undeniable when you look at your long-term yield trends, honestly. The CVT transmission manages power delivery continuously across the full range of operating conditions, from maximum draft load in heavy primary tillage to lighter secondary work and field finishing. That continuous variable power management keeps the engine operating closer to its most efficient load point across a broader range of conditions than a stepped transmission. On a machine running 800 to 1,000 plus hours per season, that efficiency difference compounds into a meaningful annual fuel cost difference. At current on-farm diesel prices of $3.20 to $3.60 per gallon across most of the US in early 2026, fuel efficiency on a 620 horsepower machine running serious annual hours is one of the largest variable cost factors in your total operating expenses. The CVT helps manage it. And on an operation at this scale, that management has real dollar value across a full ownership cycle. Now here's the part most Quadtrac reviews bury or skip entirely, because it makes the purchase decision more complicated than the dealership wants it to be. What does this machine actually cost per hour to operate across a realistic ownership cycle? Not the dealer's projected number, your actual number when you stack every real expense honestly. Fuel cost per hour at sustained high load on a 620 horsepower machine is substantial. At serious draft loads, the fuel consumption is consistent with what you'd expect from a machine in this power class. The CVT helps at partial load, but when you're pulling at full capacity in heavy primary tillage, you're burning fuel at the rates this engine was designed to handle. Operators running the Quadtrac on 10,000 plus acre operations report annual fuel costs on this machine as a primary and carefully managed line item in their operating budget. If your acre base doesn't spread that fuel cost across enough productive hours per season, the per acre burden starts working against your ROI in ways that compound across the full ownership cycle faster than most people expect. Track system. Maintenance is the cost layer wheeled tractor operators most consistently underestimate when evaluating this machine. The rubber tracks have a finite service life that varies based on your operating conditions, surface types traveled, and maintenance discipline. Track replacement when the time comes is a significant expense that needs to be built into your per-hour cost model from day one, not discovered at year 6 when you're staring at the invoice. The drive components, undercarriage wear items, and track tensioning systems all require attention on a defined schedule at real cost in addition to your standard engine and drivetrain maintenance. Manageable with proper planning, but real, and it needs to be in your numbers before you sign anything. Scheduled maintenance follows the complexity of a Tier 4 final emissions compliant machine at this power level. DEF fluid consumption, DPF regeneration requirements, SCR catalyst maintenance, the full modern emissions package every high horsepower machine carries in 2026. These aren't unique to Case IH or the Quadtrac. They're ownership realities of modern equipment that affect your per-hour cost and operational planning across a full season and deserve honest accounting in your evaluation. If Farm Gear Pro is giving you the straight honest analysis you need on a $700,000 equipment decision, hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. Every single week, we give serious, large acre operators the real numbers and honest assessment they need before they make decisions that sit on their balance sheet for a decade. Share this with any operator in your network evaluating tracked tractors right now. The analysis might save somebody a very expensive mistake or confirm this is exactly the right machine for their operation. Now let's get into the full ROI picture, because this is where the purchase decision actually gets made. The ROI case for the Quadtrac 620 in 2026 depends entirely on whether your specific operation meets the real requirements that make this machine financially viable. And they all need to be honestly present, not aspirationally present. Acre base is the foundation. At $700,000 plus purchase price and the operating cost structure that comes with a machine at this power level, you need serious established acreage to spread those costs across enough productive hours per season to generate a competitive cost per acre. Operations running 8,000 to 10,000 acres or more in the right geographic and soil conditions are where the Quadtrac's cost structure starts making genuine financial sense. Below that threshold, the per acre cost burden becomes very difficult to justify against alternatives. A high horsepower articulated wheeled tractor in the 500 to 600 horsepower class at $450,000 to $550,000 covers meaningful large acreage at lower capital and operating cost per acre, even without delivering the same traction and compaction benefits. For an operation where the Quadtrac's specific advantages aren't generating enough productivity premium to close that cost gap, the wheeled alternative is the more financially responsible choice, and the numbers will confirm it. Productivity. Premium has to be measurable and consistent on your specific operation, not theoretical. The Quadtrac needs to deliver a real and quantifiable productivity advantage over the alternatives in your specific field conditions and seasonal workload. That premium can come from working field days in challenging conditions your wheeled equipment can't handle. It can come from compaction reduction that shows up in your yield data across multiple seasons. It can come from the capacity to cover more acres per day during compressed seasonal windows. If your operation delivers that premium consistently, the financial case strengthens meaningfully. If your conditions don't demand what the Quadtrac specifically offers, you're paying a substantial premium for capability that isn't generating the return it requires to justify the investment. Asset depreciation management is where most operators get surprised at trade time if they didn't model it carefully at purchase. Case IH articulated 4-track tractors have an established used market. Serious large acre operations that genuinely need this capability create consistent demand for well-maintained machines. But the used buyer pool for a $700,000 machine is inherently narrower than for a $350,000 machine. And that affects your residual value at trade time in ways that influence your true per-hour cost across the full ownership cycle. Operations in the primary Quadtrac geographies, High Plains wheat country, Northern Plains, large acre corn belt, will find more active used market demand than operations in secondary markets where this capability class is less commonly required. The Case IH dealer network across the primary Quadtrac geographies is solid and well established. And for a machine at this complexity and price point, dealer accessibility during critical field operations is a direct operating cost factor. Downtime on a $700,000 machine during a compressed seasonal tillage window has a real cost per day that deserves honest calculation before you buy, not after. That discipline is what separates operations that build real equity from operations that own impressive equipment that never quite delivers the financial performance the dealership presentation implied. Here at Farm Gear Pro, the honest assessment on the Quadtrac 620 is consistent. This machine occupies a specific and valuable niche that it fills better than anything else currently available. For the operations it was genuinely built for, 8,000 plus acres in the right geographic and soil conditions with documented traction and compaction challenges. It's not just the right choice, it's the best choice available, and the ROI math supports that conclusion when you run it completely and honestly. For operations that don't fit that specific documented profile, there are better ways to deploy $700,000 in 2026. A high horsepower wheeled tractor at half the price, additional acre base, precision ag technology that improves returns across your existing operation, grain storage that gives you more marketing flexibility on your bushels. Any of those alternatives might generate better financial outcomes for an operation that doesn't specifically need what the Quadtrac uniquely delivers at the scale that justifies the capital commitment. The bottom line on the case, IH Quadtrac 620 in 2026, is this. At $700,000 plus, this is not an aspiration purchase. It's a precision financial decision that requires completely honest assessment of your specific operation's acre base, workload demands, soil conditions, geographic used market, and dealer relationship quality. The operators for whom this machine genuinely pencils out know who they are. Their operation has specific documented problems that the Quadtrac specifically solves at a scale that justifies every dollar of the capital commitment. If you're farming 8,000 to 10,000 plus acres in conditions where tracked drive delivers a real, consistent, measurable productivity premium, this machine deserves serious evaluation, and the ROI case is genuinely compelling when you run the full, honest numbers. If your operation doesn't hit that threshold or doesn't face the specific challenges the Quadtrac addresses better than any alternative, walk away. Deploy that capital somewhere that actually moves your margin in 2026 and every year that follows. Your operation's financial health is better served by the right machine at the right price for your specific situation than by the most impressive machine on the dealer's lot. That's the straight talk your dealer won't lead with, and that's exactly what you'll get every week right here on Farm Gear Pro. Thanks for watching Farm Gear Pro. If you found this breakdown valuable, share it with a fellow farmer and comment below your thoughts on this topic. See you in the next one.